Raheem is a lover. He's funny. He's fun-loving. He is silly, in need of connection. He really likes connection. He is a protector. He's blessed with perspective. So people who may not have perspective, he's here. He's of service too. That's why I use the term like he desires closeness, because in the closeness it feeds him. He's definitely an intimate soul. Yeah. I am from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I was born in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and lived the first couple of years of my life in Thomasville, North Carolina. I was born into a black, low-income, single family, not a lot of education, governmental assistance receiving, shame-based, musical, creative family. But my mom got on drugs and she just wasn't taking care of us. And so I could remember saying a lot, I want my mama, like being somewhere and being like, I want my mama. So like there was this like a desiring that I had for her in particular. It was my mom in particular. I grew up in the church. Both of my parents are pastors. The church played a huge part in me discovering my voice. The first time I knew I could sing was on the back of a church van. From like learning that like my voice could do certain things, I could do certain things with my voice, I could command it in a certain way. I immediately like latched on to church songs. I realized that I wanted to create music when I came back from Ghana. So while I was in Ghana, I was writing a lot about my experience. Then Ian helped me to bring music to it, because although I had the voice, I didn't really have the technical skills on the instruments yet. And so, he was helping me, bring music to it. And as we were creating these songs, which later became my first EP, The Growing, when we were creating these songs, Ian would ask me, he'd be like, who wrote this? Like he thought it was like Nikki Giovanni or somebody, like, and I always knew I could write, but that was the first time that somebody was like, no, like people need to hear the words that you come up with and the way that you put things together. Like people need to hear this. The first time I sung out publicly, period, was after I came back from Ghana. So the whole first 20 years of my life, like I would sing in church, but I wouldn't like sing out. The universe was just like delivering person after person after person. Oh my God, you wrote that? Oh my God, you said that? Oh my God, and people just reflecting the power of my voice. And that's when I was like, oh, this thing is like powerful in a way that I just hadn't known before. So the difference in between The Growing and Sojourner was, number one, the way that they were created. A Sojourner, I was like, I'm creating an expression. The Growing was just like, I had an experience, and from that experience came all of this music. I created maybe like 30 songs for Sojourner, and I only chose, like 5. So it was like I chose the expressions that I wanted to have. Whereas with The Growing, it was just like grassroots. It was like God was like, no, this is what you need to say. This is what you're gonna say. I did have a life-altering event. That life-altering event was that I gave myself permission to love. In particular, love a man. That part of my mind that was open to the possibility that I could actually be romantic and in relationship with a man. I opened up to that. And that was a huge part of why it took me so long to create another project after Sojourner, because I just had to give myself time to settle into the anxiety and the fear that comes with allowing yourself to do something that you have been shamed about and that you literally have been made to feel unsafe about. The material on Songevity is all about permission. I think that one of the songs on the album Songevity is called Permission, and I think that that's one of the biggest themes. Boxes are basically labels of human behavior. So it was like boxes was just like, I don't want to accept and or have to deal with and believe anything that keeps me from understanding and embracing that feminine energy is powerful and beautiful and wonderful. What I would offer somebody who's terrified of embracing themselves, the advice that I will offer them is to embrace the fear. Feel the fear. And in feeling the fear, you can start to actually give yourself permission to work through the fear. Because the only way out of it is through it. It's stuff in there that you're going to have to pull out in order to be filled with the love that you have for yourself. The highest form of worship is self-love.